It had been 6 hours since you had given birth to your son. You don't recall ever falling asleep, but when you had awoken, you were greeted by the lovely sight of your husband sleeping in a nearby chair and holding his and yours still sleeping newborn son. Kojo told you that you had been heavy and fatigued and needed some well-deserved rest. Indeed, giving birth had both drained and exhausted you. During that time, news of your baby's arrival had spread like wildfire, thanks to Kojo and Shinobu sending out their Kasakai crows, and had reached the demon-slaying course, including the Hashira and Uzurishiki as well as your family. Thus, it didn't take long for everyone to come and see the baby. Senju was the first to arrive, clearly super excited to finally meet his newborn nephew. Unfortunately, Shinjiro-sama wasn't with him. So Kojo had made a mental note to visit him and let his old man meet his grandson. Despite the man's aloof behavior, Shinjiro is still his father, and Kojo still loved him and wanted his son to know his grandfather regardless. "He's beautiful, Ni-chan," Senju complimented, lovely, glancing at his newborn nephew in your arms, and gently touched the chubby, rosy cheeks of the baby with his gentle finger. Despite their similarities, it warmed your heart to see Senjiro so happy. He's just as crazy about your baby than his big brother, and you can already tell he's going to be a fun and caring uncle to his nephew. You briefly wondered what Shinjiro-sama's reaction was going to be. Hopefully, he'd just be content at his son's. I mean, yes, you hated the Rengoku, for being a grouchy bonehead, considering the old man didn't even bother showing up to his son's wedding. But he had been kind enough to welcome you into the family with open arms and accept you as his daughter-in-law. The man's grieving wounded that you can't help but feel sorry for him. Thank you, Senjiro. I accidentally said it all together. After several minutes later, Mitsuri, Obanai, Michiro, and Gome had arrived. And finally, Tengen, along with his wives, Sume, Hinatsuru, and Makio, had come. "Hey, Yin-chan and Kojo-senpai," Mitsuri greeted happily. She and Sume both gushed, carefully coming closer to peer at the nearly born baby boy in your arms. "Oh, he's so precious," Mitsuri swooned. "Such a cutie," Suma squealed softly, cupping both her cheeks. "Wow, Rengoku, genes sure are strong," commented Makio. "He looks just like you, Senjiro, and your father, Rengoku," she tells Kojo. At that, Kojo laughs briefly. "Well, I can't do anything about that, Makio-san. Let me guess, you made poor Yin-chan take part in the Karega ritual?" Uzui shot him a smug smile. "What? It's our family tradition," Kojo says, and you couldn't help but roll your eyes nonchalantly. You then averted your eyes back towards the door and spotted both Sanemi and Giyo, with the wind pillar peering against the door frame, with both his hands crossed and Giyu standing in the hall. You're surprised that he'd come to see your baby. You briefly made a note to visit Kayaka once you've healed up and can leave the Butterfly Manor, so he can see his godchild. "Congratulations on the arrival of your new baby boy, Kojo and Yin," Gome says, smiling with tears of joy running down his face. "I'm really happy for the both of you. I wish him nothing but the best in life. I pray he continues to stay healthy and lively." "Aw, thank you ever so much." You smile. "That's so sweet. You really are a BFG. Oh, big friendly giant." Your words made him blush, which you thought is adorable. Michiro then kneeled beside your bed, empathetic mint green eyes staring longingly at the sleeping baby boy in your arms. His slender hand then reached to touch the tiny hand that peeked out from the flame-patterned blanket, as little fingers clenched onto it instantly. The baby stirs lightly and eyelids slowly flutter open, revealing his big, bubby, golden and red eyes that stare into his mint green ones. Hello there, Bun. Good to see you're finally out of the oven. I'm Michiro. The newborn simply cooed at him and continued to stare at the Mist Hashira innocently as a small laugh escapes him. A small, genuine smile crosses Michiro's lips. Happy to have a new friend today. Anyways, have you two named him yet? Uzui asked. You sighed. Unfortunately, no. You admitted. Ever since you gave birth, you and Kojiro had been thinking nonstop on what to call your baby. Kojiro had suggested on giving your son a name that ended with the word Jiro, like he, Senjiro, and Shinjiro. According to Kojiro, he and Shinjiro were given their names by their late mother, Ruka. It was nice knowing that your husband's names mean apricot, a small fruit tree of the rose family, which you thought was cute, and you already knew his surname, Rengoku, meant priority. I think that's how you say it. However, you told him that you wanted something different because you think Ruka only came up with names with Jiro in him because she wanted their children's name to be associated with Shinjiro-sama's name. You wanted your baby to have his own special, unique name, a name that didn't rhyme with his father, uncle, nor grandfather's name, unless you decided to go with Kojiro Jr., but who knows? I want to name him something simple, but traditional all the same, you say. Well, if you name you want, then luckily I just happen to have a list of flamboyant names. Uzui spoke proudly and pulled out a piece of paper out of his pocket. Oh boy, here we go again. Makio facepalms. Tengen-sama, perhaps you should sit this one out, Sume says nervously. Yeah, what's wrong with my names? Tengen asked his wife. Well, Hinatsuru started. It's just your names can be quite exaggerated. I'm gonna butcher all these names, guys, so get ready. What nonsense. I'm sure Kojiro and Yin are going to love these names, he says confidently before looking over the list. Okay, I'm gonna give warnings. These names are all gonna be butchered. How about Tinatsuru Zitsi? Tazayuru what? You tried to pronounce. What does that mean? No idea, but sounds cool. What do you think? You quickly shared a look with your husband, who only looked confused. What else you got? Kojiro asked. With that, Tengen continued to read over his list of flamboyant names. Teshiyoko, Teshimika, Kazamuta so, Otobaki, Konna da Yoku, Yatushimuko, and so on. However, including you and Kojiro, just stood there, listening to Tengen go on and on while communally sweating drops, and moistly staring at the sound pillar. Hinatsuru was right. Those names are exaggerated. It's not that the names were bad, though. They sound traditional with a few ulterior elements. However, you weren't exactly feeling it, to say the least. At some point, your baby's face started to scrunch up as he softly panted, obviously ready to cry. To Michiro, who had still been watching, it would have seemed the infant didn't like the sound of Uncle Tengen's names. Oh, here's one. How about Kokigai? The sound pillar asked. Huh? I like Bun better, Michiro says as he slowly glances at him. His remark caused the baby to stop his pondering and cracked a smile. See, even he agrees. The Miss Hashira gave a small smile to see the baby happy again. Come on, I'm gonna butcher Tokida. His name can't be Bun. It's not flashy at all, Tengen complains. Yeah, well, your names aren't helping either, said Makio. Guess we're going to have a nameless son, Ko. You sigh in disbelief, still teasing him, and leaned your head back against the pillow. We can't give up now, my love. We'll think of something eventually, Kojiro reassured, rubbing your arm affectionately. You smiled and glanced at him lovingly. You're right. And we really appreciate your help, my friend, Kojiro says to Tengen. Soon, silence filled the room as all of you tried thinking of the perfect name for your baby. While that happened, Senjiro slowly averted his gaze towards the window, seeing how it was bright and sunny outside. The afternoon sun high in the sky, and how its rays shined on the evergreen trees. Indeed, it was a perfect day for either go fishing, pick apples at an orchard, or take a stroll. The bright, beautiful, sunny day. Sunny? Sun. Ha! That's it then. It suddenly came to him. I got it! Senjiro excitedly exclaimed, immediately causing you and Kojo, among with everyone else, to perk up and look at him. Got what, Otoo? Kojo cocks his head in question. What about Taiyo? The mini Rengoku suggests. Taiyo? I know it isn't much, but it's both traditional and simple. Besides, Taiyo means sun, and... Senjiro quickly glances down at his precious little nephew. He's basically a ray of sunshine, right? You and Kojo shared a look as your baby released a small laugh. You both glanced down at your baby to see him smiling so big as Michio shakes his little hand still wrapped around the Miss Hashio's finger. Taiyo Rengoku. You tested the name on your tongue before looking back at Kojiro. What do you think, Ko? He started, thinking for a moment as a joyous grin slowly crosses his lips. That's perfect. Thank you, Otoo. The flame pillar exclaims, happily. Taiyo Rengoku it is. And everyone clapped and cheered, except for Michiro. I still like Bun better, the Miss Tashira says nonchalantly.